So I definitely want to say rest in peace. Tim Watts, you know who Tim Watts is?
Yes, I remember him of 90. He was the original cast, like up there with Frank Ski and all of them.
Okay,
original.
look at you.
I mean, listen,
Look
I grew
at
up on
you.
old school music, so I definitely know who Tim Watts is.
Yeah, so Tim Watts is a legendary radio personality. It was at V103 is what you're referring to. And, back in the day.
Yeah.
So he announced today that his wife passed away last night, losing her battle to cancer. So her name is Pamela. And so, definitely want to send our condolences there. So they got married 20 years ago on Easter.
Okay.
And so, I definitely want to say R.I.P. They definitely clearly seemed like they were in love.
Well, let me say this. I met my husband when I was 16 and lost him when I was 28. So when you meet somebody, when they know all parts of you, like certain parts of your family, certain things you did, it is a different type of love that is there. So you will definitely have a bond. Like, that's a childhood bond. You know what I'm saying? That's when you really finding out you and the kinks and all that. So I definitely understand where he's coming from on that. Like,
absolutely. So he said that he wanted to apologize to people that he was not able to get to personally by phone, and he said this was the hardest thing that he's ever had to do. Please continue to pray for us. And he said information on the arrangements will be posted soon as he gets them. And so definitely. So they met in 1991 at a V103 event. She was a promotions person, somebody high up with MTA.
Okay.
And they were doing some type of event with the radio station, and they met. And so he said that he knew as soon as he saw her, he was going to marry her.
Okay.
And so that's interesting. But definitely want to send our prayers and condolences out to him.
Can I say something?
Please.
So, in the midst of this, especially losing
What up, DJ Venom?
a husband or a wife, the worst thing a person could say to anyone at this time is, "I know how you feeling."
I didn't say that.
No, I'm just saying in this.
Oh, you mean in general?
In general.
What
if
the person has lost somebody?
That's different. But for everyone, and it's usually in a time of grief, people do that, and it's no harm intentionally meant. But I think that's a tough pill to swallow.
Hold on, let me address that. I hear people say that all the time.
Right.
I disagree with your philosophy 141%.
Okay.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Okay. So so somebody says that I know how you feel,
right.
even if they haven't experienced it, right?
Correct.
You feel as though they can't say that in good faith. I feel that they can. For instance, so the stove is hot.
Correct.
If I say you burn your hand on the stove, right? Let's say you just burnt your hand on the stove, and I say, "Woo, I know how you feel." Right. Now listen, I never touched the stove, but I know the stove is hot. Right. I don't have to touch the stove to know the stove is hot. I've burnt myself before, right?
Right.
I didn't have to go to 15, not that kind of burnt. Well, I'm just saying. But I burnt myself, my hand, so I can say I know how that feels. I know what heat feels like. So what's the difference between saying it hurts?
Can I tell you the difference?
Yeah, please.
The difference is when you burnt yourself, you might have only burnt a small portion of your finger or just touched it. When I burnt myself, I had to wear bandages for 2-3 months. The healing is different.
So you're saying so does it come off as disrespectful if somebody says that?
Let me say this. Not always. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's overbearing, if anything. Definitely overbearing, because in that time, that's the worst thing, I mean, you could possibly say to someone in my eyes, because I've been on that table. The best thing that I would say is, what do you need? And I'm here for you, period. Okay. You understand? Because like you said, 20 years is a long time.
Is a lot.
It's different decades they done went through.
Yeah.
It's different circumstances, financially, emotionally, all eras. So it's like a different type of bond. I mean, you could have the same bond even if you're not married, but it's a difference once you take them vows in front of God and everybody know that you were husband and wife. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You can feel the same pain if you lost your child's father or boyfriend or whatever, but this was my husband. You understand? And
Yeah.
it hurts when you come to reality, to death do us part. That's the worstest thing being married. That, you know, I feel as though people override when they say, I understand how you feel. That's the worst thing to me, because if you never married, even if your marriage fell out and your significant, and you know, your spouse died or whatever, the pain, because you always remember those words. If nothing else, you remember that moment. If nothing.
Definitely. As I said, we want to say R.I.P. to Miss Pamela Watts.